my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tawenga-Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news, Fiji becomes first island state to endorse Under 2 coalition. More than $2 million of black money in Fiji, and school pregnancy stats a major concern.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Fiji has become the first island developing state to endorse the Under 2 coalition, an international pact among cities, states and countries committed to limiting the increase in the global average temperature to below 2 degrees Celsius. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama was welcomed by the U.S. governors of Oregon, California and Washington at the signing in Sacramento today. Akusita Tale has the details.
At the signing were U.S. governors who formed the U.S. Climate Alliance, a partnership in response to the White House's decision to withdraw from the Paris Agreement. The Prime Minister told them Fiji is looking forward to working with them.
Our grand coalition is bigger than any one meeting or event. This is a movement that is built to last and a critical evolution of the international climate process. I commit to you as incoming COP President that I will do everything in my power to ensure that our grand coalition receives the attention it deserves.
The Under 2 coalition has over 170 subnational governments from around the world, all committed to taking decisive actions to achieve net zero economies by 2050, in line with the Paris Agreement.
If there is one thing we have all learned over the last 2 weeks, for every action, there is a reaction. And my friends, the leadership represented in this room and people of all walks of life from across America have spoken very loudly, telling the world that America will continue to tackle climate change.
The alliance now includes 13 U.S. states, led by both Democrats and Republicans, committed to achieving their goal to reduce emissions by 26 to 28% from 2005 levels.
Despite the decision by the White House to retreat, we, as Oregonians and as Americans, we will move forward to fulfill the goals of the Paris Agreement.
When the President decided to run up the white flag of surrender to the challenge of climate change, we jumped right into the barricades and 12 other governors jumped with us right away. And as a result, the rest of the world has said they're not going to be slowed down by this abject defeat by Donald Trump. They're going to keep moving forward, and so are our states.
Bainimarama also used this opportunity to nominate California's Governor Edmund Brown as Special Advisor for States and Regions ahead of the COP23 meeting in November. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
More than $2 billion is believed to be part of the black economy in Fiji since 2006. Minister for Economy Ayaz Said Qayyum says this is a huge increase and government is investing in modern technology to keep track of sale points and business chains. Kelly Vavala reports.
The Fijian government allocated $5 million into technology for tax monitoring and compliance to capture illegal business activities that allow people to avoid paying taxes or selling goods and providing services without any records.
Back in 2006, the World Bank had assessed that the black economy in Fiji at that point in time was worth about $716 million. If you extrapolate that to now, that time the revenue collections was 1/3 of what it is today. So you can safely say that since $716 million at that point in time, you multiply that by 3, you're looking at about $2.1 billion. What would be the black economy in Fiji now?
FIRCA today has launched its VAT monitoring system together with 2 online portals for customer service and information.
Is not only to have efficient and reliable software to encourage voluntary tax compliance and at the same time to collect the revenue due to the government which is currently being evaded, but it will also play a broader role in alignment to the government roadmap for the development of Fiji.
Qayyum says having these systems in place will ensure a transparent and fair system is being practiced.
The final cost to the consumer in terms of purchasing some of the basic day-to-day items, they actually weren't passed on to the consumers.
FIRCA Chief Executive Vishwanath Das says it's important to develop incentives and deterrents that would encourage opportunities for innovation to enable better payments in the future. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The shocking statistics of pregnancy in schools is a major concern in the country, says the Education Ministry. The ministry is now working on ways to get the students back into the education system where they are ready to resume studies. Sainiani Mboila reports.
A total of 1,456 teenage pregnancies recorded last year, which is a big number for Fiji, but the Education Ministry is willing to help these students.
We have counseled the child. We have spoken to the parents that they should not take any harsh action. It's something that has happened.
Ministry for Women, Children and Poverty Alleviation Permanent Secretary Josefa Kuruiweta says relevant stakeholders should help resolve the matter instead of only talking about solutions.
We need to focus on the child. It's a child and it's got a newborn as well. So a child with a child. And I think that needs to be, we can speak around the matter, but we need to look at how we can resolve it.
And you can see that we have started talking about such issues which are affecting our youths, and this is one of them.
We have to look and see what is happening behind, what is happening at home, what is happening in the community. What are they learning from observing young people in their society that they look up to?
From the statistics, by ANZAC, 2016 recorded the highest number of pregnancies below the age of 15 compared to 2015 and 2014. Apart from this, a total number of 6,626 offences were recorded in schools last year, which included drug intake and cover consumption. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
2 Fijian nationals along with 2 Papua New Guineans have been missing at sea since Saturday. The PNG search and rescue team is still looking for the missing crew. Fiji's High Commissioner to PNG, Asala Teleni, has confirmed to FBC News they're now coordinating with the search team at the yacht club in PNG.
The search will take on and how long they will declare the search, is finished, but it will be up to them. I know we have a search and rescue. They have utilized resources outside Papua New Guinea to assist in the search. But for the conduct of search and rescue, it's under the PNG responsibility.
Still to come, corrupt officers will not be tolerated, says LTA. And pastor's alleged rape trial continues. Details after the break.
Nimbula binaka na yalangunga andi moala radada ranalika o tikongo na tao na singatoka ando talitaka na bakaronga ng Bula FM nambandua na serre.
Ya dora chubuli kurna bili. Ibora ni batukara hambara binanga. Do talitakina na bakaronga ng Bula FM nambandua na serre.
Bula FM nambandua na serre.
The LTA and the Police Force's Traffic Department have vowed a policy of zero tolerance for corruption. Their message was reiterated after several cases regarding corrupt officers were brought to light. Rachel Nuff has more.
Complaints of corrupt police and LTA officers often surface, but this time the matter will be seriously looked into.
It's very serious. From the board level to myself and everybody in the LTA, we're clear on the level of corruption that we accept, and that is zero.
We are not condoning those kind of behavior. We have zero tolerance, as mentioned by COLT, and our policies are very strong.
The LTA and police have introduced some new measures to assist in curbing this issue.
I'm pretty confident that those claims may not be correct, but if they are in any way, shape or form serious enough for us to deal with, we will deal with it immediately.
As the allegation is put upon against any police officer, there is an internal affairs department that deals with the investigation, and also we are closely working with FICAC.
The authorities have also recognized that the public opt to take their complaints to social media.
Our advice to public is, if they come across, if they see any incident of corrupt practices, they have right to report the matter rather than going to social media.
Reporting it to a social site is not an effective way of dealing with those sort of claims, right? We can't deal with them. We may not have enough information.
Both authorities have stressed those caught breaching the law will be taken to task. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
There are more disturbing revelations in the case of the infamous pastor who allegedly raped and impregnated a number of girls in his congregations. Jezreel Lion of Judah congregation leader Chone Dokanuto faces 5 counts of rape, 1 count of attempted rape and 4 counts of indecent assault. His trial is in its 2nd day at the Suva High Court. Shireen Shivan reports.
The first witness continued giving her evidence in court today and shared some of the pastor's sermons. She said he depicted himself as of Jesus, who once gave water to a woman from the well and told her after drinking water, "You will not be thirsty again." The witness said from this Bible verse, the pastor told the girls they must perform certain sexual acts with him to indicate sexual desires they will never have again. She said they had to go through a purification process which included performing sexual acts with the pastor. She maintained she was raped by the pastor and her 2 children were from him. There are numerous disturbing facts in this case which cannot be divulged publicly. The courtroom was full of church congregation members today. Judge Justice Salesitemo told the victim to report if anyone threatens her outside court, saying he would make sure the person faces full brunt of law. Shireen Shivan, FBC News.
Groundbreaking ceremony for Fiji's first ever funeral rites facility was performed today by the acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum. The facility was explained as a place where the Indo-Fijian community can perform funeral rites in relative hygiene, comfort and safety. The project cost government more than $700,000 and according to Said Qayyum, it's a symbol of multiculturalism and unity amongst all Fijians. Said Qayyum says government has planned to also develop a similar facility in a populated area.
At having a similar facility in Nosori and another one in Lautoka. They are the 2 next ones that we are looking at, creating those facilities, because we think at the moment, given the population base and the fact that we do not have proper facilities there that may be close to the sea, that we should be able to look at that. So we look forward to
Becoming an advocate for unique challenges facing our region and not being passive actors is the way forward. This was highlighted by Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum during the Pacific Multi-Stakeholder Dialogue on the implementation of the 2030 Agenda, Samoa Pathway and the Framework for Pacific Regionalism. The acting Prime Minister was firm with his delivery as he told the Pacific Island nations that we cannot accept an one-size-fits-all approach. Said Qayyum says Pacific Islands need solutions and strategies tailored to the geographic, cultural and social realities that we face. He highlighted that without a workable and realistic regional game plan, we will not succeed.
It falls on us to highlight those challenges and identify how regional and international frameworks can be implemented in ways that have the greatest possible impact on our development and ultimately on the welfare of our individual citizens. Our development priorities have already been clearly mapped out onto the Universal 2030 Agenda. The next step for us is to develop a regional roadmap towards achieving those priorities.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, he will have more on the Italy rugby side, but joining us next is Rachel with business.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight, more locals investing in stock market. And in Growing Fiji, Women Showcase Talent Expo. Stay with us.
I'm Andrea Sorbakroa of Nayabu Wendibuga Telebu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Kano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. Leading business tonight, ordinary Fijians are taking a keen interest in our stock market. The South Pacific Stock Exchange says there has been 64 new investors so far this year. Last month alone, 10 new individuals invested shares on the stock market.
When I say individuals, these are employees in the private sector, in the public sector, retirees. We also have farmers, we have domestic workers, we also have students actually investing in the stock market.
The month of May has seen the most activity on the stock market as 5 companies recorded an all-time high.
During the month of June, our focus will still be much on awareness. So we are targeting corporate organizations that actually want their staff to learn more about share investments.
Through the Exchange Investor Education Program, students in Year 11 and 12 around Fiji will be part of an awareness session this month. Up next, Savanatha from HFC Bank is here with the Market Watch.
Vinaka Rachel. The pound has been weakening due to the political turmoil since the beginning of the month over Prime Minister Theresa May's party and his chances of getting a good Brexit deal for the UK. But now the pound has risen due to the Consumer Price Index for the month of May, surpassing expectations of 2.7% by rising to 2.9. The result was the pound opened 22 points stronger in today's trading. Australia's Westpac consumer confidence dropped from negative 1.1% to 1.8%. However, Chinese yuan retail sales stayed steady at 10.7%, resulting in no fluctuations of the Aussie dollar today. Tomorrow we have some big market moves from the US. They released their retail sales for May, expected to drop from 0.4% to 0.1%. Coupled with this is their consumer price index for May, also expected to drop from 2.2% to 2%. That's it from me right now. Vinaka Rachel.
Thanks, Savanatha. Now let's take a look at today's exchange rates. The Fijian dollar continues to strengthen against the Chinese yuan and the American dollar to close at 3.22 and 47 cents respectively. Closer to home, our dollar went up against the Australian dollar to close at 62 cents, while it weakened against the New Zealand dollar to close at 65 cents, and it strengthened against the PNG Kina to close at 132. As for the commodities market, oil prices dropped to close at $45.98 a barrel. Gold rose to close at $1,267 an ounce, and silver weakened closing at $16.84 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, the National Women's Expo opened today in Suva. Close to 500 women artisans from across the country selling their handmade wares. Amongst the woven mats, beaten masi, and an array of home wares, there were some extraordinary items from healing honey to fish scale accessories. Maggie Boyle was at the expo and filed this report.
It's a proud display of Fijian women showcasing their resourcefulness and skill with an array of products.
Today marks yet another historical milestone in our nation's effort to recognize all our women for their contribution towards Fiji's holistic development.
And while the variety is evident, there are a few that stand out simply for their uniqueness.
So when you eat the fish, keep the scales to make the flowers, brooches and earrings.
So the Fijian twist is actually, I'm not a weaver, but I taught myself.
And we brought all the mats in every different color, different types.
Miracle honey, it cures 99 sickness, and I will tell all the members, all the public, to come and buy this honey.
For buyers, they're spoiled for choice.
I've loved it. Yeah, plenty to choose from. Seems fun.
I just bought 2 mats. One is $70 and one is $120. And just a pot plant. Prices are good.
I have a lovely big bag. Yes, it's lovely quality. There's really lovely quality in the weaving and the tapa cloth. It's beautiful.
The National Women's Expo is a calendar event. Here today and over the next 3 days, 497 artisans from across the country, provinces as far as Laos to Senganga. It's not only an occasion where the women can make an income from these 3 days of sales, it's also an opportunity for them to bond with other ladies from across the country and learn about their challenges and how they're dealing with them. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
And that's business this evening. Sports is up next, and Jamie has the latest from the Flying Fijians and Azuri camps ahead of the test match on Saturday.
Good evening, that's right, Rachel. Coming up, former 7-star Arthur
Out the impact for Flying Fijians. And Italians out to end winless run in Fiji. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन तो हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
Despite having only 2 games under his belt for the Vodafone Flying Fijians, winger Benito Masilevu has been rated highly by national coach John McKee. Earning his second cap against Australia last week, Masilevu is tipped to be an integral part of the team to take on the Italians this weekend. Vasnil Prasad has more.
After making his name in the world-renowned Fiji 7th side, Benito Masilevu is now working hard to ensure his tenure in the full court bears the same fruit.
Really followed Benito's progress since he first went across from sevens, and I think he's just learnt so much about the 15s game, and particularly his positional play as a winger, and he's been one of the big, I think, improvers in the squad over the last 12 months.
Masilevu made his debut for the Flying Fijians in 2015 against the Maori All Blacks, and since then it was a long wait for another call-up, which only happened last weekend, and Masilevu doesn't want this chance to slip away.
Working on that. That's why we're here. That's why we came, not just to train and sit on the sideline. We're here to fight for the spot that we came here for.
With the matchday squad to be named tomorrow, the brief winger is likely to be given another nod again for the Italy match.
We've seen by the coach, and we have things to work on. So excited to learn more on this week's game, this week's training, and this week's game.
It was a rest day for the team today before going through 2 more sessions tomorrow and Friday.
Thursday, a morning session, quite a hard and fast session. We really work on speed on Thursday, so we'll want to execute all our plays and our defensive structure at speed, and that will tune us up nicely with the captain's run on Friday.
The pressure to perform on the home turf is always there, but with the likes of Masilevu ready to put their body on the line for the country, Maki's men are set to give in a polished performance at Laucala. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Rugby Union has launched its Bring the Fight, Wear White campaign ahead of the Fiji versus Italy match on Saturday. AFRU is calling on local fans to come out in numbers and support the Flying Fijians in its 2nd test match of the year.
Australia usually goals the crowd, the All Blacks usually black it out, and we thought it was a good opportunity to white out the National Stadium and call on fans to come down in numbers, and when you're coming down in numbers, you bring the fight and wear white.
Yeah, I think so. Anything that can engage the fans, get them to come out and support their national team, and show their pride and support for the team is a great thing.
We join Vasnil Prasad live now from the Flying Fijians base camp in Suva. Vasnil, I understand the players took a break today, but I'm sure Coach John McKee would have been busy weighing out his options ahead of the team naming tomorrow. What can you tell us?
The excitement is building up as we get near to the naming of the final squad, which will face Italy on Saturday. And to explain more is here with me Coach John McKee. John, you have been with the team throughout the week here at the Albert Park training every day. Can you tell us how impressive have been these players, and probably which players have stood tall to make into your list for Italy match?
Look, I'm very happy with the way training's gone this week. A lot of competition for spots in the team, and the players are really fighting to make that final selection. We'll have a meeting in the morning with the medical and S&C staff, and just another meeting with the coaches in the morning, and penciling our squad for training tomorrow. But still, I want the players to be competitive tomorrow, fighting for a place on that team.
Looking forward to the match against Italy. I believe their forwards are something to reckon with.
Oh, look, we know Italy will come out through the forwards. They're a strong mauling team, and they play off their halfback a lot. we're going to have to really match them in the maul. If we let them get any ascendancy there, they're going to be a very dangerous team, and we know they're going to come hard at the edges of the ruck, so our defence in that area is going to have to be very, very strong.
Big task for the Flying Fijians as the history looks towards our side. 4 matches played here in Suva, and we have 1-all. This is the 5th match. What do you think about it?
Oh, look, history is always interesting to look at, but you know, on Saturday, the teams that win, it will be the team that plays best on the day. So what we're working towards and getting our players so we get to the absolute peak of performance on the weekend, and hopefully our best performance is good enough to win the game.
A message to the fans and the public probably to come in numbers and support the boys and probably watch the big names playing at ANZ Stadium.
Oh, look, I think this campaign over this June and July is the biggest test series we've had for a long time, with 5 tests back to back. These 2 home tests against Italy initially and then Scotland, big games, and you can see the quality of players who've come back from overseas, highly motivated to represent their country. We've got all of our best players here, so it's a great opportunity for the fans to get out, not only to see the top players in action, but also to really get behind their team.
There you go, exciting match looming in ahead of us. 10 times Italy and Fiji have met, 4 times Fiji have won, all here at the ANZ Stadium. So something to look about on Saturday, where the Flying Fijians will be able to keep that history that is in our favour. Jamie.
Thanks, Vasnil. Meanwhile, preparations in the Italy camp are going well, and like Vasnil said, while history is not on the Italian side, the Italians are more focused on executing their plans well. Melita Vanga reports.
Italy has never won in its 4 matches in Fiji, but they are not bothered about the past.
They're very confident. I think some of the stuff they played against Australia was very, very good. How they played against England in November too, that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of confidence there. They're willing to try things, and and we have to try and stop it. So
the visitors know too well the area which the Fijians excel in, and will be out to shut out the dangerous Fiji backline.
We have to stop them from getting the ball, because when they get the ball, they're very, very dangerous. Some fantastic rugby players. So it's just us understanding how we need to change within the week.
The Azzurri also revealing a tradition that is synonymous with debutants.
We've got a tradition where all new caps get their head shaven by a senior player. So last night we all sat down, and the senior boys took to us with a pair of clippers, and this is the end result, unfortunately.
Nurab Badi is hoping he's included in the match day 23rd so he can show his worth.
Always great to go up against the Fijians, so it's gonna be a real challenge, but looking forward to it.
The Italians rarely give an inch to any opposition and are well known for their rugged forward play. However, to do the Italian job against the Fijians, the visitors will not only have to rely on one area, but put in a polished team performance to counter the home crowd and the razzle-dazzle of Fijian rugby. Melita Vanga, FBC Sports.
The Suva football side wants to avenge last year's Vodafone Fiji Fact final loss to Nandi when the 2 sides meet again in the semi-finals on Saturday. Preparations for the Suva camp have been going well and has recently been boosted with the return of one of its senior reps. Rohit Deo with the story.
All efforts are being made by the Suva side to grab the Vodafone Fiji Fact title this weekend.
We expect a tough match, a tough and physical match, of course, but we have got young players, and they have a platform to play, and they have something to perform and prove, and hopefully we come out victorious come semi-final.
The Whites missed the services of Peter Rambo during the pool stages. The veteran midfielder is back and will surely boost the capital city side's chances against Nandi in the semi-finals.
I really missed the boys throughout the pool match, but I worked my way back, and now to be part of the semi-final, I think it's just a great achievement for me now, and especially come and push these young boys, and just try to go for it.
The team went through a session with match officials today to understand the rules better.
Referee now, they've been, they've been very, very strict on all sort of offences, but it's very important that all the players understand with their role, what is a free kick, what is, how they're going to get the penalty of the free kick out of it. So it's very, very good that we can come and have this session with the referee today.
Suva meets Nandi at 4:30 p.m. at Nosori's Ratu Kambau Park after Rewa plays Lambasa at 2 p.m. The 2 nail-biting encounters will decide which teams face off in the final at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday. Rohit Dev, BC Sports.
Fijian flyer Wasake Naholo scored a try to help his Highlanders team beat the British Lions 23-22 New Zealand last night. In a tightly contested encounter, Naholo managed to cross over in the first spell for the first try of the match. Meanwhile, Naholo has joined the All Blacks squad in preparations for the match against Samoa on Friday. The All Blacks host Samoa at 8 p.m. on Friday, and you can watch that match live on FBC TV. That's it from sports this evening. Catch weather later on with Angie, and in new media. We all know about 4G, but there are already tests being done for the rollout of 5G. Stay with us.
Bula, Keron mai singatoka, Keron do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko lang do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, naguraramay na omanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasibale, nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti na ponga ni BNN.
Chinese tech giant Huawei says that it has carried out tests at the world's largest 5G testing ground. The tests were part of the second stage of a three-stage test process established in 2013 to coordinate efforts by China's leading mobile service operators, manufacturers and research institutes to develop 5G technology. Angie joins us now with the very latest in weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. The hump day started off cool with more sunny skies around compared to the cloudiness and overcast periods we've been having for the past few days. Now, even though we had sunshine, our nights will still be cold. Looking at today in the west, there were a few clouds with sunshine just beaming through, making everything lively, beautiful sight indeed. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, it wasn't that sunshiny, it was rather overcast. And up in Vanuatu, there were clouds but in sunnier spells. At sea, a strong wind warning remains in place for all Fiji waters with rough to very rough seas. And for the tides, high tide tonight will be at 10:20 with a low tide tomorrow morning at 4:15. Sunrise will be at 6:35. For tomorrow, it will be much more cooler than today with brighter spells. Tomorrow's temps, almost all the centers will be in the higher 20s, super cool weather. Looking ahead to Friday, it will feel different. I mean, after a bit of dry sunny spells, there is odd spots of rain indicated. And that, Jackie, is FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fijian Pulse today, we asked, have the Flying Fijians proven that they can now compete with Tier 1 nations?
I think they would because they had the skill and they are well trained. And of course they will.
Close game against the Wallabies. Fiji, the Flying Fijians got the possible chance of beating Tier 1 nations.
Fiji can play against Tier 1 because they have the strength to play against them.
And Fiji team can match the Tier 1 nations because most of the players playing in the Fiji team, they are playing with the Tier 1 nations.
Yes, I think they are improving this time from the game they play last Saturday. And I think if they can train together and play together in Fiji, they can match the big team.
Recapping the main stories, Fiji becomes first island state to endorse Under 2 coalition. More than $2 million of black money in Fiji, and school pregnancy stats a major concern. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, can the Vodafone Flying Fijians beat Italy and Scotland? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, today's shot of the day, a perfect day at the beach on Beachcomber Island, clear blue skies and sandy beach, sent in by Tomasi Mboa. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tip at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable night. Good night.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Usi kombinasyon mo tikola ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuya sila tale, nagurara may naomanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gagawin na sila level ng rongo. Varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti na ponga ni BNN.